Today we got to play Sons of Anarchy. So this is a worker placement take that game. So if you'd like to hear about other different games that we're going to play in the future, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can see what we're doing. Robert, tell us more about this game.
Sons of Anarchy. This came out in 2014. The board game geek rating 7.3. Designed by Aaron Dill, John Kovalesk, and Sean Swigart. Art by Katie Dillon and Charles Woods. Published by Gale Force 9. Now the game is out of print, so it's not, you can't get it by Gale Force 9 anymore. But Amazon's got it on sale for $29.98. eBay $44.99, and the Geek Market's got it for $15.
And it was rethemed as Vaults of Dragons, so you could get the new theme. Although I think, from my understanding, is that is now going out of print if it's not out of print.
So we'll do a review of that one too.
Yeah, we do have that one.
Why do we have the same? Never mind. I don't want to know. Okay, so let's dig into it. Quality of pieces. It has purple.
So
that is the most important part.
Bonus point.
But it's got neat shaped miniatures.
Yeah, so it does have
Motorcycles.
miniatures. So you have the prospects and the motorcyclists. You also have cardboard money. It's pretty thick. I think it's actually fine. It kind of works with the theme. You also have little loot bags as well
contraband.
Contraband.
Not to be confused with drugs. There's certainly no drugs in there. It's just contraband.
Loot bags and some weaponry.
Weapons.
Some weaponry that works with this theme.
Loot bags are contraband.
Right. Okay.
The bags.
There are also these cardboard threat tokens, really thick cardboard, as well as the order tokens, which are basically your action counters for that. Overall, I think the quality is actually pretty fantastic for this game.
And all of the spaces are coasters. That's what's really cool about this. They're all drink coasters.
So, yeah, pretty nifty. Card quality, though, it is lacking, so you're better off sleeving them. Other than that, what would you guys rate it?
It's all right. I don't think it's fantastic. I think the miniatures are okay. It'd have been nice if each faction had a different motorcycle, because they're all exactly the same looking dudes, on a bike. So I think that would have been a little bit better.
Well, each team does have a custom die. We didn't mention that. They all have the face of the die that matches their particular gang.
So what would you give it for a score for quality of pieces?
I think I'd give it a 7.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's probably where I'm at. I mean, I do think it's got neat as far as I like the tiles and the idea of it being coasters, but I mean, the miniatures aren't that exciting. They're kind of small. They look...
But they're actual miniatures.
Yeah, no, I know. This looks like the kind that you find in like those old zombie games. I do like the dice. I think the dice are cool, and you know the contraband and the weaponry is neat. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing super exciting about it. But I think 7's a good score.
I'm gonna give this. I'll stick with you guys. I'll stick with the 7.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure. Okay, so moving on to theme. We didn't attack a lot this go around.
We did.
I
felt like it was pretty brutal against me during the game.
Who ended up winning?
I did, but that wasn't the reason it was brutal. You guys teaming up, there was a female collusion that caused a lot of it.
I got 11 money. I don't want to hear it from you personally. So, theme-wise, what'd you guys think?
Well, it's definitely thematic. I mean,
thematic with art, yes, but you don't...
And even the pieces. I mean, the pieces...
Even the gameplay of it.
Well, yeah.
Everything about it. I mean, you're going into locations that are clearly thematic. If you're a fan of the show, you clearly know a lot of the locations. Mm-hmm. They got imagery from the show. They've got the characters are fighting at every location. You almost have no choice but fight this because there's so few locations, especially at higher player counts. And I mean, you have certain places where you can trigger weaponry in your fights, and there's certain you can't, which makes sense. You wouldn't be able to pull a weapon out at
the police department.
You wouldn't be able to pull a weapon out at a police station. You wouldn't be able to do that at a hospital as easily, so it makes sense.
Yep, it does. So, Robert, what would you score it?
I guess maybe because I just didn't have a lot of fun playing it, that even though it is thematic, it didn't really excite me a whole lot. And maybe because I didn't watch the show, maybe because it just didn't scratch an itch, a gaming itch that I particularly enjoy. So I cannot go above a 7.
Okay, what about you? What's your Furnace score?
I mean, I don't think gameplay or fun factor should factor into theme at all. I think it's an 8 as far as theme goes. I think it plays as far as, if you're a fan of the show, it's going to be reflective of that. It's definitely not as heavy as, say, Battlestar as far as theme goes, but it's definitely thematic.
I'll
To you.
I'll split the hairs.
I don't think that discounts my opinion. So.
We'll split it. We'll split it down the middle. 7.5 for me. So moving on to rules.
The rules are fine. I mean, they're simple. It's a fairly simple game as far as it
But
takes you.
it was long-winded.
It was a long game.
Oh no!
No,
we're talking about the game. We're talking about the rules.
Exactly, it was long.
No, you just tuned out anytime there's rules. So
Well, you
the
kept
rules
talking
were not bad.
and
It's
stuff.
it's 12 pages or 14 pages,
I
but
think
that's an
I'm getting
appendix.
spoiled with these 8-page, 6-page rules.
It was 12 pages and it was very straightforward. There's nothing in here that was that complex.
Right.
It
No.
was-
It was very easy to pick
And
up.
they did have a cheat sheet on the back,
Mhm.
so that was actually really helpful. Does it have everything you need to play? No, but it was pretty darn close. So it worked out. If you
Really?
had remotely paid attention to the rules, I didn't, this would have been fun.
I think they're probably an 8. I think they're a good
Yeah,
quality.
I had no problem picking this up, and I did play this a long time ago, and it was not a problem.
I'm going to give it a 7 because, like I said, not everything was on the cheat sheet that I would have liked to have seen. All right, so moving on to gameplay. Gameplay is actually, so basically you have the amount of order tokens, and those are essentially your actions. So certain items will cost 1 action, but then others may cost more. You can add to it to go further. So some of the things you can do is to actually, one of the orders is to move one set of workers around, one set of gangsters around to different locations. The other one is to actually use the location if it is in your control. Basically, you can be the only one on that spot. And then throwdown, which means you're actually going to battle to take ownership of that spot. And then there's the recruit, which basically you get to take workers and put them into your clubhouse. And then the other thing that you can do is upgrade your workers. It's called the patch-in step. Basically, you pay a cash, a weapon, you remove a prospect, and you get a member, the guys on the actual motorcycle. And then the last thing is to sit tight. So basically, if you're out of things to do, which happened actually quite a bit in this game, I did not enjoy that. There seemed to be a lot of dead weight. The fact that I had to pass so many things because there was a lack of stuff to do really actually annoyed the crap out of me. So that's pretty much all you do. You go in the round circle until everyone's out of these tokens. The locations, they all have to do with exchanging resources for other resources. So weapons, money, and the loot, the contraband. So all of that meshes together in some variations on those locations. So do you want to start with what your thoughts were of the game?
I didn't hate this game, but I don't care for it either. Honestly, I could care less. I'd be just fine never playing it again. But I didn't hate it. So I'm very, very meh about this game. I thought it was kind of boring.
Yeah, so for me, I had issues with the fact that I had to pass so many times.
I agree. That was a problem.
There wasn't enough to do. And even I almost felt like, all right, I'm just going to attack somebody because that's all there is to do. Like, it's kind of
And maybe that was
boring.
their intent, was to make sure you did
I think
that.
that's the problem is because we weren't necessarily heavily attacking in the game. There was more spaces we just took the actions on, which meant less opportunities to take actions because they were already used. So all the excess tokens that you would normally be using for attacking and driving away your opposition were wasted because we didn't have that many fights, because we're just not that competitive as far as games.
But even towards the end, okay, so we ended up having one last battle because that was the only spot left. but it was resolved in one round. Okay, lame. I mean, I don't know. So even the attacking thing, like it wasn't a continuous fight, almost like, Axis and Allies, where you have to go until all the guys are gone. And I guess it makes sense because your gang would just move on. But at another time, it was just, okay, one action, that tile is resolved, done.
Yeah, but
okay, then we had like 4 tokens that we all passed on because
Right.
there was literally nothing on the board to do.
It'd been nice if you could like cash in an action token for $1 or a contraband or something that you could have done those extra actions with.
Yeah, even if it was a crappy action,
Right.
something.
Yeah.
And so overall, I'm with you. Did I hate it? No. If this gets lost, will I be sad? No. In fact, can we make that happen? Can we put it in the back of the shelf behind the things?
And when it came out at Gen Con, this was a hot game. It was a big deal.
Well, then again, the show is also pretty hot.
That's very true too. So it was.
Well,
a big
I
deal.
think and we've encountered games like this where the thematics or the theme is what drew people to the game. I think this is probably the case with this one. Maybe if you're a fan of the show, maybe this does scratch an itch.
I think if you're a super fan, you would like it.
Well, if you're a super fan, or if you are like a lot of high combat games. I mean, we do not play a lot of high combat games, so this is not really our cup of tea. This was popular for a while. Now it faded, and it was in the bargain bin in a lot of places when it faded. I mean, when it went out,
remember that.
it wasn't one that went because you held on to it after it went out of print. It escalated in value. It definitely did not. Matter of fact, you mentioned it's been out of print for a while. It's only $29.99 at what, Amazon? You said?
Yeah, $15 on the geek market.
Yeah, it's not something that sells for high volume
That's
or
'cause
high prices.
It's not that great of an actual gameplay.
No, I mean it's a meh game. It's not great. It is what it is. But I think there's nice things about it, but I don't think there's enough of it to make it that great of a game.
Would you rather play this over Catan?
No,
So what would you give it a score?
I'd give it a 4.
I'm with you. 4.
I'm
would
not.
way
I'm definitely
better.
not there. I'm at a 6 on this one. I think it's better than Catan as far as what you get in it, the gameplay of it.
I don't.
No. Give me Catan.
Any day.
Any
I
day over
definitely don't
this
think it's a
game.
4.
Yeah. So we'll agree to disagree on this one. Well, guys, we had an interesting time tonight. We'll leave it there. Hopefully you guys did too. Check us out. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.